Cloze questions commonly feature in the 11 plus exam. In the Chem, Durham University version of the exam, they feature in the comprehension English section, whereas in the GL version of the exam, they're in their own separate verbal reasoning part of the paper. So here's an example. I'll just read it through first, and I think that's really what you should do first when you're learning and practicing Cloze questions. Try and get a feel for the whole sentence before you really focus on the particular words. I will say the 3 words each time, so here we go. The friendly, fiendish, frenetic dentist smiled warmly and said that my filling had been partially, partly, or particularly successful. Right, now we need to look at the context, and the main thing I think which gives us a big clue in how to answer this question is the dentist smiled warmly. You have to take that at face value. You need to say he's smiling because he's friendly. It could be that he was smiling because he's frenetic, but it's much less likely. So you've got to make the best answer possible here. And for somebody to smile warmly, it's going to be that they're friendly. So let's go with friendly on the first one. And now the final bit, the filling had been partially, partly, or particularly successful. Well, let's go back to that dentist smiling warmly. Would he be smiling warmly if it hadn't worked properly, if it had only been partly successful, if it had only been partially successful? Well, I don't think so. I think he'd be smiling because it had been particularly successful. It really means very successful. So there we are. We now have our final sentence. The friendly dentist smiled warmly and said that my filling had been particularly successful.